Good news, everyone! I'm Dwayne Carey Hill, and we're going to learn how to draw Professor Farnsworth. We're going to start with his head, and it's kind of like an offset egg shape. Sort of a little heavier on the bottom, a little pointier on top. And then his neck slants kind of jetting out to the left, so we'll sketch that in. And we'll move down to his body. His body's about the same size proportionally as his head and neck. Now don't forget to round out his belly. He's got this sort of old man pot belly. So we have that almost like a lima bean shape. Now let's sketch in his legs. His legs are even on both sides, and as in like just a tube. Okay, now let's add his feet. They flare out, sort of puffy slippers. Make sure when you draw his slippers, they don't fit. His slippers actually are supposed to be too small for his feet. Okay, now we're gonna come up. We'll add some detail into his face. And his eyes are gonna be like that classic matte graining shape where they're really sort of big and bulbous. So it's gonna look like his eyes, but the professor's always wearing his glasses, so we'll add a little dimension to his glasses. We'll add his nose. He's got this sort of big beak of a nose. His lip's gonna come sort of right down from between his glasses and out, and flares out again with that matte graining overbite. And then we'll draw in his chin. The professor's really wrinkly, so adding in all that detail really sort of makes him look like himself. So, and now we're gonna go down and draw his arm, bring his shoulder out from his neck. And we'll give it a little bend so he has that little old man hunch. Okay, then we'll add his jacket, his lab coat. We'll add the other side of his coat and his arm, sketch his arm in there. He's got this big lab coat pocket, about 3/4 of the way to the bottom of his coat. Just gonna go back in and add some wrinkles. He's got 3 wrinkles on his neck. There we go. There's the professor. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Crystal Chesney Thompson, one of the retake directors on Futurama, and Rich Moore was kind enough to ask that I draw Nibbler because he knows how much I love cute things, as you can see by this friendly note he sent me. So I'm going to show you how to draw Nibbler. Now, generally I like to have a model sheet of my character because it's hard to remember all the little details about each character. Nibbler is basically a really cute little animal, so he's got a really big head. And one way you can tell his head is really big because his body is almost as big as his head, but not quite. So he's this little egg-shaped body. Then I like to draw his eyes, really big nibbler eyes. Again, to accentuate the cuteness. And he has the traditional Futurama, like overbite. Couple of fangs. Anybody familiar with Nibbler knows that he likes to eat just about anything, so the fangs probably help him a lot with that. Then we draw a little antenna kind of coming up from the middle of his head. I like to draw this line down the middle of his head, just kind of help me figure out where the center is so that when I draw the antenna, it's in the right position. And Nibbler also has a cute little cape on, so I just draw this knot kind of in the middle of his chest. And since he's kind of a cross between a little animal and a baby, because he tends to sit up in a baby position, and he also wears a diaper. I'm not exactly sure how Nibbler's little diaper works with the whole litter box thing, because anybody that watches this show knows that he poos dark matter, as I have here. Let's add a little belly button there, just to help with the cute factor. So I like to keep everything really rough, because as I'm drawing it, I'm never sure if I'm going to want to change a hand position or change where his eyes are pointing. And then once I have it the way I like it, go over it with a nice dark outline. And there you have Nibbler.
Hi, my name's Derek Thompson. I'm Assistant Director here at Rough Draft Studios for the Futurama DVD movies. Welcome back for another How to Draw Futurama Characters. Today, I'm going to draw the Hypnotoad. All right, so as I'm drawing the Hypnotoad, I'm going to draw with a Sharpie here so you guys can see what I'm doing. He's kind of like a beanbag. And then we'll draw his collar. And if any of you know about the Hypnotoad, you don't draw his eyes in until the very last thing. This little eyeball, see, he looks kind of like a beanbag, almost like a slug. But then we're gonna put on his legs. Let's see, his little feet. Everybody in the Futurama universe has a big upper lip, even the toads. So if you want to make up your own Futurama character, you just got to give him a big upper lip. Now let's put some of the details in. See, there's the basic shape. Now, of course, he's a toad, so we give him little bumps. Still haven't filled in the eyes. And then, like somebody actually owns him, he has little tags that say who owns him, but I think he owns whoever he looks at, so maybe it says who he owns. All of these characters are so much fun to draw because, you know, they are cartoony and they're round and they're fun to just swoop around. You notice my arm moves all over the page as I'm drawing these characters. Okay, so there's the Hypnotoad. Now, when you see the Hypnotoad on the screen, it's always his eyes that mesmerize you and hypnotize you. All hail the Hypnotoad.
Hi, my name is Stephen Wall, and I was assistant director on 2 of the 4 DVDs. And today I'm going to show you how to draw Philip J. Fry. So anyway, his torso is roughly about a head and a half long. The hips connect right at the bottom half of the peanut shape that you make for his torso. The legs extend down off of that peanut shape. You kind of want a slight S curve to his posture. You almost never see Fry standing up straight with his chest out. It's more of a kind of a casual sort of stance that Fry always has. Fry's head is tricky. So we have the basic ball and the basic neck shape. In order to figure out where you want to put his facial features, one of the easiest tricks for that is what I started to do on this last drawing here, is what's called crosshairs. You do a line around the sphere of his head going horizontally and another line going vertically. Because of where you see these crosshairs land, you know where to put the eyes, and then right from where all those crosshairs intersect is the basic spot where you want to put the nose. And off of that nose line, you have the classic matte graining lip. And the ear would come off of this line here. Where to place all the facial features, the ear would be roughly off of this horizontal line here. His hair, his basic hair shape, is kind of a rounded square. The line of his hair comes across the head and up into 2 points. His body is kind of, you can either think of it as 2 ovals attached to each other or a peanut shape. I like the idea of a peanut shape. If you want to give him his arms extend right from the point where the neck and the top of the peanut shape attach. So the hands would connect right about there. So we're getting closer to an actual fry. And I'm using the underdrawing here so that I can get a cleaner looking final drawing. You would kind of follow the contour of his torso for the shape of his jacket. He wears kind of a, I don't know, I guess it's sort of a bomber jacket. In the final drawing, you kind of want to give a sense of roundness to the character, so we tend to round off all the corners. Give him some shoes. He can't walk without his shoes. And there's Fry.